Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Battle of the Bangers Season 4. I'm your host. My name is Tyler, and I am, of course, joined by the boys. We have Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle.
Hello.
Today is the second and last semifinal round of the Battle of the Sad Summerfest 2022 lineup. We're loading up the bracket here so you can all see the damage that has been done. Today, we are, of course, talking about Waterparks, the number 3 seed, versus Neck Deep, the number 2 seed. The winner of this match will go on to the grand finals, face off against the current. It's a poor choice of words. I said against twice in a row, and it sounded fucking stupid. Speaking of things that sound fucking stupid, what do we think of these bands? That was a bad segue, because I like them both.
They both sound good.
I like both of these bands. So... we didn't actually get to talk about Neck Deep a whole lot in their first bout because we spent the entire episode just mercilessly shitting on Hot Mulligan. Brennan defended them, but boy did Kyle not. Holy shit.
I was like to say that, I said I'm sorry a lot. I take those back. I'm not sorry. I just like to rescind my...
But let's talk about Neck Deep a little bit in depth because we didn't really get to do that. Brendan, we're going to start with you as per usual. What are your overall thoughts on Neck Deep?
Another band with a really solid start. Their 2 albums, Life's Not Out to Get You and The Peace and the Panic, I think are definitely their best.
I agree.
A lot of their orders,
their start though.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was when I started listening to them. But yeah, I mean, they were coming out with shit in 2012. Yeah, Rain in July came out in 2012. Definitely, when you think of pop punk, actual pop punk, you have Neck Deep, you have, maybe Knuckle Puck kind of slides in there, State Champs, Mayday Parade's kind of the godfather of all this. There's select bands, I mean, you can even throw Stan Atlantic in there nowadays, but there's certain bands, whenever you say the word pop punk, that they're synonymous with it. And Neck Deep is definitely one of those bands.
For sure.
And even after those records, they've released very solid music. They have pretty much a good, trickling of singles here and there. I thought All Distortions Are Intentional was a good record. Definitely not their best, but, solid.
Yeah.
They had an EP called Live from Lockdown. It's obviously, some live shit. And, some acoustic stuff sprinkled in between. And, all of it is solid. They very rarely release bad music. And I wouldn't even say bad music, but music that's just not up to snuff compared to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Neck Deep is just, they are a true powerhouse in pop punk, I feel. So,
definitely.
That's my opinion on Neck Deep.
Definitely. Kyle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty much in the exact same boat as you. I feel they really don't miss. I mean, I guess you could argue that their most recent album really wasn't their best work, but it wasn't bad. I haven't had a moment where I've not had a great time. I think they, you said, they're just absolutely fucking the punk of pop punk. They also rap in that pop, and when they do, it still works really fucking well for them. Fucking The Peace and the Panic is such a good album. I love that album. I love the one before it that I never remember the name of. Life's Not Out to Get You. That one, yes. Those 2 are probably my 2 favorites, if I'm being honest with you. Life's Not Out to Get You is fucking grade A. Grade A punk, baby. Yeah. They just know how to fucking do it, man. They're another band that you could argue have really kind of, obviously not as far back as Mayday Parade, but they've really been kind of setting the tone for the punk pop. If instead of the pop punk, and I think they've just been killing it ever since day one.
Yeah,
and now on top of that, actually, something interesting we can talk about, the fact that they aren't signed anymore.
Oh yeah, they went indie a few weeks ago.
They're
also their drummer left shortly before that.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. It was on good terms. I guess he just wanted to kind of do his own thing. But
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I remember that being
cool
a thing too.
Yeah, I'm curious because All Distortions Are Intentional, which is their most recent album. It was okay. And it just kind of felt like they were kind of falling out of that that rut, the
Mhm.
good rut. Usually rut
Yeah.
means bad thing, but here I mean good rut that like Neck Deep has created for themselves. They kind of like left that, and not in like the best way at times. So I'm wondering if maybe there was like some kind of clash, like between like them and like the company, the fucking people they were with, and now because the newest single they released is pretty fucking solid. The Shut the Fuck Up is very much more back in their style, very super solid.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't say they left their style for All Distortions Are Intentional.
I mean,
I just feel
yeah.
like it, and I'm not gonna say that like they didn't want to make the record. I think they were like very proud of that record for everything I saw. It was just, to me, it just didn't hold up to their previous work. And I mean, it's really hard because I consider, and I think most of the scene considers Life's Not Out to Get You as like one of the god tier, like end all be all pop punk albums that defines the genre forever and all time. I mean, that was like career high, genre high. Like that is just like immaculate album for the genre, right? And then the album after that, Peace and the Panic, was like not like, obviously they couldn't top what they had just made, but it was like extremely close second. Like they're still right in the pocket. And Lightning Doesn't Strike 3 times. I think that's really my takeaway from the last album, where it was like, it wasn't bad, but like not many songs on it really stood out because the 2 previous albums were just monoliths of the genre. Yeah. And their new song I actually really enjoyed. Like it's very much in the pocket of what they normally do. It's very just standard pop punk, but I think lyrically it was really relatable for I think anybody our age, really going through the shit that the world is going through. I think it's a song that like just resonates with an entire generation of people. And it was a really fun time, and it gave me good feels, even though they used the same the generic pop punk drum beat that just fucking salts my apples every time I hear it. Because if there's one knock against Neck Deep, it's that they've used that drum beat like more than any other band has used it ever in the history of time. Like anytime I hear that drum beat, I usually, like, my metric for when I find new like bands in the genre, if they use that drum beat more than once when I'm just going through their top songs, I just don't listen to them anymore, because I'm like, that's the generic beat. Don't do that shit. They do it consistently, and I still listen to them because they're that good. I wish they didn't do it that much, but like, yeah. Neck Deep is very good. Now we have to compare them to Waterparks, who we've already talked about in the previous matchup. 2 very different bands here. Because I know we kind of talked about how like Waterparks we didn't even like fully consider to be part of the genre all the way. This is another instance, I think, of like a band where Neck Deep is just 1,000% on the punk end of the spectrum, and Waterparks is definitely leaning more toward the pop side of the spectrum.
Yep.
I don't know. It's weird to compare the two, because I think like the obvious answer is like, oh well, Neck Deep obviously takes this because it's Neck Deep. But like, to go objective on this, to give Waterparks credit, to make this like a real fight, right? I do think that Waterparks branches out a little bit more. They definitely try a lot more stuff. And the variety, I think, in general, tends to hold my interest a little bit more than if I were to listen to like for example, if I were to listen to like a bunch of Neck Deep songs in a row, just on shuffle, there's a chance it could throw me like 4 songs in a row that kind of all sound the same, because they're very much just in the pocket of pop punk. Whereas Waterparks, they do branch out a little bit. They do have some stuff that sort of like breaks the mold, some stuff that sort of like, it sounds unique from like song to song, more so than some of the Neck Deep stuff is. Not to say that that makes it better, but just food for thought. That is kind of like a general argument to make between the two, in my opinion.
It's fair.
But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
What you got, Brennan?
I still do not totally understand all the hype behind Waterparks. I think everything that Tyler said is valid, though. In the fact that they are more like expansive as an artist. But to me, Neck Deep, and Tyler said this before, they've released an album that is like the thing that everything else in the genre should be compared to. And another album that is just a step beneath that. And Waterparks, they've released some really good stuff, but they have not released anything like genre defining to the point that Neck Deep has.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not shitting on Waterparks. It's just, I think this is not a close fight whatsoever, but that's just my opinion.
100% agree, honestly. I mean, that was like kind of where I was gonna go with it, because like, I mean, we really like laid into like the whole like effect on the industry and the genre that Mayday Parade had. But I mean, Neck Deep had very similar, like you said.
Yeah.
They have created fucking cornerstones of pop punk in their music. And while I can kind of agree with you that like, you could hear a song or two in a row that like might be a little samey from Neck Deep, I also think that like song structure wise, they're willing to kind of like go out of like the normal setup, for a song. Where I think that's kind of where Waterparks falters for me a tad, is that they do kind of have like a bit of a samey like poppy radio structure to their songs, even if they are throwing in like a cool electronic thing or something, or like they're not they're willing to like have the vocalist do falsetto or like the piano stuff getting added in. It's still it's spice on top of the same formula. Whereas Neck Deep is doing a similar sound in the same genre, but they're able to like do it in different ways that it's still really awesome and great to listen to. I think that immediately gives me a nod towards Neck Deep. And on top of that, you then talk about fucking, the fucking impact, fucking just... And like, maybe I'm not giving Waterparks enough credit because I really haven't like done a full dive into all of their music for this. I just kind of like, I went through and I listened to like a ton of it, but I didn't listen to all of it. So maybe I'm missing something here. And, respect to Waterparks. A lot of people like them. Awesome. I am also still confused about like how they have that many. But, no, like if you like it, I'm here for it, Like, go off, King. I don't know. It's cool.
No, I completely agree with both of you. I mainly just brought that up just to have an argument to be made because I didn't want to just default to like the easy answer, but like it's the easy answer for a reason. I mean, Neck Deep is just such a powerhouse. Like, Waterparks, it's not a complete blowout, but like Neck Deep is definitely, I think, the clear winner here. I think it would be a sin to have Waterparks beat Neck Deep. Yeah. That just feels wrong. I don't know. So I think that's gonna do it. I think that's it. I think Neck Deep's moving on. Just karate chop straight through the carotid artery. Waterparks has no head, and they're dead. And Neck Deep is moving on to the grand final against the current. Holy shit! This gonna be an episode, people. Wow, the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. I don't think we've ever actually had a bracket that ended up that way.
Yeah,
no,
it seems generic on paper, but like
there's been an upset in every bracket so far, but not this time.
No.
Yeah.
No, there has not. The only way there's an upset now is if the number 2 seed overtakes the number 1 seed. Tall task.
That's like not even an upset. That's like,
yeah, it's just a step over. Yeah. But hey, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. And if you want to be notified right when the final match drops, make sure that you are subscribed to the Talks a Lot Boys and you ring the bell. And that way you'll know when the final comes out next week. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be lit as hell. I'm so excited. We're about to record it right now, and you guys don't get to see it for another week. Haha! It sucks to be you, but it doesn't suck to be you because now you're a subscriber, and you can watch all of our other content. I mean, you could do that without subscribing, but that'd be kind of a jerk move.
Lame. It's really lame.
Trailing off now. Please like this video. Just please. I've never tried begging before, so we're gonna do that today. I require likes. Please give us likes. It'll bring us joy.
We were going strong till now.
It's fine. It's fine.
Feed us,
also,
please.
please make sure to comment below what you thought about this matchup. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Just let us know. Let's have a conversation about it in the comments below. Yeah, and also thank you to everyone who has been on this journey with us so far. The Sad Summerfest 2022 Battle of the Bangers. No one asked for it, but we thought it'd be fun to do. So if you have been watching this, then major thanks to you, because this is a risk for us to do this and not a fan-suggested topic. But anyway, that is all for today. We've been the Talk Slot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. See you later.